Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Nishes Bhattarai and I am your friendly neighborhood realtor. For those of you who don't know, I am actually a first-time homebuyer specialist, meaning 95% of my clients are first-time homebuyers. So basically I help them, I guide them, I educate them about the home buying process. So today's episode is going to be dedicated to the first-time homebuyers. Okay, what I'm going to talk about today is going to be your very first step while trying to purchase a property. So stay tuned. All right, we are going to talk about what documents will a lender need in order to pre-approve you or pre-qualify you for a loan and give you that maximum cap for your budget on how much you can purchase the property for. Number one, they will ask you for your pay stubs. So if you are employed on a salary basis or hourly basis, and if you get W-2s every year, then you get your pay stubs. So basically they will ask you for last 2 months pay stubs, which is about 4 pay stubs if you get paid on bi-weekly basis every 15 days, and it's 8 pay stubs if you get paid on a weekly basis. So they will ask you for your pay stubs. When you submit the pay stubs, the lenders are going to look at various things in the pay stubs. They're going to look at a number of hours you've worked, if you're salaried, if you're hourly, if you're full-time, if you're part-time, what your gross income is, how much you made year to date, and based on those factors, they will determine your gross income for this year, and they will issue you a pre-approval accordingly. I mean, they will definitely take debts into consideration, but they will use your paycheck as your source of income to determine how much you qualify for. So that's the significance of submitting a paycheck, actually 4 paychecks to the lender when you are going to get your pre-approval. The second documentation that the lender is going to ask you for is going to be your W-2s for the last 2 years. And for all self-employed people, like if you're driving Uber or if you're delivering food or any sort of self-employed, like if you work on commissions only, you get issued a 1099. So they will ask you for last 2 years 1099 as well. This will basically help the lender determine your work history, and it's basically to assure the bank that you've actually been working continuously for the last 2 years. And the third document the bank is going to ask you for is going to be very significant. They're going to ask you for your tax returns for the last 2 years as well. Tax returns are very important. So if you haven't filed your taxes, you should file your taxes, because without that, getting a mortgage is next to impossible. They definitely want to make sure that you're paying Uncle Sam his cut. And especially for people who are self-employed, tax returns holds the key to your loan approval, because the way that the bank issues the loan for those who are employed or salaried and get paid on W-2s is different than how the banks issue loan for people who are self-employed or are on 1099. So it's basically very important that you file your taxes properly and submit that to the bank in order to obtain a pre-approval. The fourth document that the bank is going to ask you before they issue you a pre-approval is going to be your bank statements for the last 2 months. So let's take a scenario that we put in an offer. You and I, we went ahead and toured the property and we got ratified today, and you want to put your loan application in today. So basically what bank is going to ask you is your bank statement from last 2 months. They want to make sure that you have enough funds for your down payment and to cover your closing cost. And they also want to make sure that there are no unsourced cash deposits or any unexplained deposits, anything sketchy going on with your bank account. So that's why they want to see 2 months worth of bank statement from you before they issue pre-approval. And this is something that I actually recommend all the lenders to do, especially if I'm working with that lender or if I'm working with that buyer. call the lender and the buyer, get them in a conference call, and I make sure that the lender knows about the buyer's work history. Like, there are no gaps in employment for the buyers, they haven't changed jobs frequently, or they haven't reduced hours. So this is also important. It's a part of getting pre-approved, but this step actually will help you further down the process, to make sure that everything is smooth and there are no obstacles or no hindrances during the way. So your work history, either verbally or in documentation, if you can explain that to the lender, that is also going to help you get your loan finalized with much more ease. So that is something that I would recommend. It's not necessarily something the bank's going to need in documentation, but later on they might ask for it. So it's better to get it out of the way as early as possible. All right, and once you submit all those 5 documents, the bank is going to look at your income, your work history, your bank statements, your tax returns, and they're going to run your credit, and then they're going to use the DTI ratio calculator. Basically, it's called DTI because it's debt to income ratio. And, they will use that to make sure that you are eligible for X amount of loan, and they will issue pre-approval accordingly. And, you are feel free to look at houses and put in an offer. You are there. First step done. All right, folks, that actually brings us to the end of today's episode. I hope the information that I shared with you today will be able to help you in your house hunting journey. If you have some sort of questions about purchase, or selling or investment or renting, you can always reach out to me. My phone number is 757-284-4248. You can also follow me on social media. I have my Instagram and Facebook at Nepali Realtor. I will leave the link in the description box. And please do remember to hit that subscribe button and the bell icon right next to it, so I can keep bringing videos like this, and then you can keep taking advantage of the information that I share here. All right, with that being said, it's time for me to go. I will see you again next week. Thank you. Bye-bye. Ciao.